welcome to another reading vlog. So, I feel like y'all have seen in my previous reading vlog, I said I wanted to start doing more challenges, started to just like broaden my reading vlogs and the types of reading vlogs that I do. So, this is yet another interesting and fun one. And low-key kind of a challenge, I'm not gonna lie, because one thing about me, I read the same types of books. So y'all have been hearing me say I am loving fantasy. I feel like my fantasy era will never end. That is like the one genre of books that I consecutively read and never get tired, never get bored. So for this challenge, it was low-key kind of difficult because I was just trying to like broaden the types of books that I read. But we managed to find a few, and I'm happy to say this week we're going to be reading books from different genres. So, as you all know, it's low-key kind of hard because I love fantasy, but I did manage to find a few books that I have here in my little book stash that are not all fantasy, and I'm interested to see how I feel and how I enjoy reading them or how I don't enjoy reading them. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first book that we're going to read together is this one. It's called Natural Born Angel by Scott Speer. And this book, I feel like it was one of my sisters when she was growing up. Like, this was one of the books that she was reading. I never read like a bunch of my sister's books because, as you'll know, I was entrenched in my fantasy. And she was reading like different books and I was just like zoned in on fantasy. So I'm intrigued to see what this one's about. I read the back of it and it's about like this girl who finds out she's a half angel and like there's a bunch of stuff that happened in the world. So I'm interested to see how I enjoy this. Yet another floppy book. The font is large. It doesn't have that many pages, and I'm lying. It's like 350 pages, which isn't too bad. And yeah, this, if I haven't said it before, is a fiction book. So, starting off this whole reading vlog with a fiction book. I'm excited to see what I think about it. I feel like it's going to be a good read, especially since it's got like that like angel aspect to it. So, we shall see what it's like. I'm probably going to start this today and then update you guys along the way. But yeah, let's get into it. So I thought I'd give you guys an update on how reading is going so far. I'm currently on page 76. This is how much I've read, and I'm honestly not gonna lie, this has been taking me so long to get through. I feel like I'm reading this really slow. I'm not sure if it's because like the content or like the storyline, but I am not reading this as fast as I normally would other books, and it's very intriguing to me. I feel like the character, I'm intrigued in like her storyline because she's like a 1 in a million angel type thing, but it's like everything else in the background, I feel like I really don't care as much. So I feel like that's why it's taking me so long to read. And I only remember to like pick this up when I'm in my room because I have it on my table. When I'm not thinking about it, I completely forget about it. I have no interest in picking it up. So I feel like that's also why it's taking me a while to read it. But I figured I might as well just try and finish it off for the vlog. But yeah, I'm currently on page 76. We'll see how much I get done today because I actually have to go do my hair later on in the afternoon. So right now I have like 2 hours to just read before I have to go do my hair. So we shall see how much I get done. Honestly, I hope it picks up because right now, low-key kind of bored, low-key not interested in like what's happening apart from like our main character. Everything else I could care less about. So hopefully this next little bit that I'm going to read probably has something more interesting, and hopefully I have a better update for you guys. But yeah, let's continue our little read.
Taking you in this moment, come get close like your name. Read your aura, you want more of all this love, you'll be your name. When they say she get it from her mama say you fuck her right. Body rude is unpolite. Tell me in a humble type. Tell me is you down? Cause I'm trying to go up tonight. Balls and hoochies left and right. I just wanna live in a fantasy. I think we deserve it right. Top of the man.
Okay guys, so I've got a little bit of an update for you guys, and I feel like, so no surprise here, I am not finishing this book. I honestly tried my hardest to like get into it. Y'all have seen like from the beginning of when I started reading this book, I already was like, I'm not feeling it. It's not like 100% my vibe. I'm not like interested in like the storyline, like the character, like the main character is interesting. I could care less about everything else that was going on. But I was like, you know what, let me just give it a few more pages, read a few more chapters, maybe I'll actually get into it. And I actually managed to read up until page 162, which is chapter 16. So I literally got to the end of chapter 16. So I read this much and I was just like, not honestly feeling this book. I am not, like, it's interesting, but like not really. And like I don't pick it up all the time. I'm not interested in like reading when I know I have to like read this, because it's just like really slow. So I think right now I'm gonna probably like soft DNF this right now. I'm honestly not interested in it at all, so I'll probably just pick this up at a later stage, maybe even if, but you know what, this is a DNF for me, unfortunately. So since I stopped reading that, I was like, you know what? I need something that's gonna like pique my interest. Something that like I know is not gonna put me in like a slump. Something that I know for a fact I'm going to enjoy. So none other than a fantasy book, obviously. And since we are reading different genres, I was like, you know what? Fantasy sticks into this category because I just need something that will like bring my heart joy and bring me comfort after such a disappointing book. So I picked up The Bane Chronicles. When I tell you that a Cassandra Clare book will never disappoint, honestly, this world right here, the Shadowhunter world, has me hooked. I feel like this was like my intro into fantasy, like YA adult fantasy, instead of like Percy Jackson-ish fantasy, you know what I'm saying? So I decided to pick up the Bane Chronicles. I remember buying this book and like somehow I forgot it here when I would like travel and stuff. So when I found it again, when I was like going through my books, I was like, it's gonna have to be a must-read book at some point. And you know what, luckily for me, I'm doing a little reading vlog, so this is it. I started it this morning, as y'all would have seen. I'm currently on page 42, and so right now our power literally just cut. I don't know, like something like blew up, like a transformer or like a fuse, something were blew up. So since I have like no power at home, my internet is really slow as well because we have no power. So I was like, you know what, there's no better time than to continue reading this book. Honestly, I was enjoying it so much, and like this book is like a compilation of like Magnus's life and stuff. And honestly, Magnus is like my favorite character when I watch the Shadowhunter series on TV. So I'm just like interested in everything that's happening, and so yeah, I already know it's not gonna disappoint. So we're gonna sit here, read a bunch, because honestly I have no idea when the electricity is coming back. So hopefully I'll probably read a good chunk of it and have a really good update for you guys. But so far, so good. I'm loving it. So I thought I'd give you guys a little update since I've actually managed to read quite a bit. This is how much I've read so far. Currently on page 104, and if that doesn't tell you how well this is going, I have no idea what does. I literally am on I'm on page 104 within like half a day of reading this, and honestly I am eating it up. I am so excited that I actually picked up a fantasy book, a Cassandra Clare book. I feel like my little book slump thing, my little funk is gone because I'm actually reading a book that I'm like thoroughly enjoying. I'm actually interested in. The characters in here are good. Like the storyline, the plot is great. Like the whole premise of this is just like going through Magnus Bane's like immortal life, and like you're hearing stories from like moments in time of his life, and honestly I'm eating it up. I'm loving it. I'm currently on the 3rd story right now, and I'm thoroughly enjoying everything that I'm reading about this book. I'm so intrigued as to like what the rest of the book has. But yeah, no disappointments here. Everything's just been going great. I've been loving it. Honestly, I've just been thoroughly enjoying it, and I thought I'd update you guys because I feel like this is such a better update compared to the other book I was reading, considering like I was at 160 pages and I was still bored as heck. So right now I'm currently on 104 and I'm thoroughly enjoying this book, and I honestly just want to continue reading, see what else happens, and be more intrigued. So yeah. What a great day to read a book. And honestly, what a great book to bring me out of my little book slump. Okay guys, so I don't know if y'all can hear me because of the rain outside. It is literally downpouring, but it was the perfect weather to finish off my book. So I managed to finish off the Bane Chronicles. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. Everything about it was just great. I felt like because of like my little slump I was in due to the previous book, picking up like a fantasy cozy book, and it's like Cassandra Clare, which is like even better because I already know Cassandra Clare is like one of my fave fantasy authors, so I just knew it was just gonna like bring me out of my little book funk that I was in, and it literally did not disappoint. I read this book so quick. I felt like the first day I read it, I read 180 pages, and then after that I was just like consuming it more and more. So I feel like this was the perfect read, regardless of the fact that it was like 400 pages. But yeah, it was so good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like if you're ever in doubt about starting this universe, this is your sign to do it. Honestly, I feel like I now want to like read more because I honestly have not been reading them like chronological order. So I read like the prequels, I read random standalones, I haven't read like the Mortal Instruments. So that might be the new series I actually start later on down the line, because right now I'm trying to finish off the series that I'm currently reading. But since we finished our little fantasy book, I felt like, you know what, to end off this video, we might start off with a different genre that I feel like I don't normally gravitate towards, and I feel like it was more so something that we did during high school. So without further ado, I'll show you guys our final read for this video. The Pictures of Dorian Gray. When I tell you, this is not like a typical book that I would gravitate towards. I am not even lying. I felt like in high school we were like forced to read a bunch of classics, and it was just like I'm reading it to pass my class and not because I'm actually interested in it. So I figured since I'm grown, my frontal lobe has fully developed, I felt like it was time for me to actually like go back to like classics and actually see what my thoughts are on this book now that I've grown older and have like a better sense of like probably things that are going to happen in this book. So I'm intrigued to see what happens. First of all, the font is huge, which we love to see, because I feel like it's going to be like an easier read, and it's not that many pages, which is also great considering I just read like an over 400 page book. So how many pages is this? It is 229 pages. It's literally so floppy, so I could honestly, if I actually like go in, I could probably finish this really quick. So I'm interested to see what my thoughts are on this book. But yeah, let's get into it. Our final book that we're gonna read together. A little bit of an update on how The Prince of Dorian Gray is going so far. Currently only on page 54, so there's not a lot that has happened. We've met like our main people, I'm guessing, but yeah, so far since I've been reading, I've honestly realized that like the English in here is so in-depth, as in like the way people speak to each other is so like purposeful, and like they don't speak just to speak. Like when they speak, there's meaning to what they're saying. So I feel like that's really interesting, especially like given the time period this book is set in. I feel like there's a lot we can learn about people, behavior, how society views us, how we view ourselves in that society, and how sometimes the way you see things is different than other people, and like how that impacts everything in your life. So far it's interesting. I feel like I actually have to pay attention when I'm reading and not just like skim through things, because I started this at night, like late. I was like reading and I was like, I caught myself having to like go back and reread some lines, because I'm like, if I just skim through, I feel like I'm gonna miss a bunch of stuff. But yeah, so far I've been really enjoying it. I've underlined a few little phrases, few little sentences, because I'm like, this book is actually so good in terms of like their speech and how people speak to each other. So it's gonna be an interesting read. So we'll see how much I get done today, because I recently got a new book which I'm really excited about. So I'm trying to like not like rush through this, but like low-key kind of rush through this because I'm excited about my other book. But so far I'm intrigued on how this is going. So let's get back into reading and I'll update you guys along the way. Okay guys, so I feel like right now it's gotten to a point where I am hooked. I literally have only 50 pages left, and when I tell you that my jaw dropped, I was shook. I was just like at a loss for words at so many points from my last update. I'm just like, you know, at this point I'm actually intrigued to see how this ends, because this man is insane. Like I have to say, this man is insane. But yeah, I'm actually gonna probably sit outside because it's so dang hot. So I'm currently sitting outside at the back of my house, and I decided I'm gonna finish up the book. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I pretty much like read most of it this morning as well, because I literally woke up and was just like eating up the words. But yeah, I'm gonna chill here outside and read. I thought I'd update you guys because right now Dorian Gray is insane, and what he's doing is even more insane. And the fact that like he has someone helping him makes it even more insane. Honestly, this whole book is just insane. But yeah, I'm gonna sit here, try and finish out the last 50 pages, because honestly, I'm gonna lie, it's been taking me a while, because this English, as I've said, is so deep and like so thorough that you have to like pay attention to what's going on. Here's me thinking I could read non-fiction books pretty fast, but with this one, I'm a slow reader. So we'll see how long it takes me to read this 50 pages left. It's currently 12 right now, so we shall update you guys when I'm done and share my thoughts on how this ended. Okay guys, so I just finished reading Dorian Gray, and when I tell you I feel like the ending and how the book ended and like the resolution was actually so good, considering it was like a, what is it, did I say non-fiction? Fiction. It's a fiction classic. I feel like it took me a while to get into it, because I feel like I've said this multiple times, the English was so in depth that you had to actually pay attention to everything that they were saying, because of like the way they spoke and how everything was just being like expressed, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like Dorian Gray as a person, we don't like him. I feel like he's very like self-absorbed, cares more about himself than like the people around him. But I also feel like that's a result of how he grew up, the people he met, and the influence that other people had on him. I feel like that's why he ended up being the way he was. But he's just also not a nice person, I've realized. And the things that happen to him and the things that he does to other people, I feel like it's just like a result of all of that coming together. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed that book. I feel like I'd give it like a solid like a 3.75 or like 4 stars. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think I'm leaning in that direction because honestly, for a classic, I liked it. The beginning was a little bit slow for me, I'm not gonna lie, but like towards like almost halfway, towards like from halfway onwards, I feel like I was thoroughly like eating it up and interested in everything that was going on. But yeah, I think right now I'm probably gonna just like go through all the books that I've read and discuss them with you. Just give a little bit of pointers and tips and stuff for all the books that we read. So these are the 3 books we read in this video. Our first one was Natural Born Angel by Scott Spear. I actually DNF'd this book. I stopped reading at page 162. I'm like pretty much almost halfway, and honestly, for like a fiction, it's like a YA fiction with like low-key fantasy bits. Like, I did not enjoy this, honestly, and I feel like I'm not gonna continue this at all. This is like my first DNF where I'm just like, I have no interest in like picking this up ever again. And like, I thought it was gonna be really interesting because it's like the girl is born half angel. She's like trying to like navigate this world of being like a guardian angel while still like maintaining her beliefs that are more like towards the human side, when like there's this whole war going on between like the angels and the humans. So I literally went in excited because I was like, this seems like something I would enjoy. But as I was reading, I was not interested in it at all. So yeah, unfortunately, this was a DNF for me. And then to bring my mood back up, because I was just like feeling all slumpy because of that book, we picked up The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare. And one thing about Cassandra Clare books, they will always be amazing books for me. This was a solid 4 stars for me. I loved this book. I feel like it just brought more interest for the character of Magnus, because number one, I love Magnus as a person. I loved him in the TV show. I loved him in the other books that I read. So he's just like a really interesting character to read about. So yeah, The Bane Chronicles, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I would highly recommend reading any Cassandra Clare book, honestly. This is a standalone Cassandra Clare book, but you could read all Cassandra Clare books like in order in terms of like the little series that she has. But I feel like just going off of these little ones are nice and interesting because you get a little bit of information of all the series depending on whether or not the character was involved. So because I read a few of the other books, like a lot of the people that were mentioned in this book I knew about. So if you're like a fantasy enthusiast, if you love the Shadowhunters world, if you love like this concept of books, I feel like you'll really enjoy this because you get like a little bit of information about everyone in like the universe of Shadowhunters and Cassandra Clare. And then our last book that we read together was The Pictures of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This was a classic, and I feel like reading classics for me is not going to be like a all the time kind of thing. I think it's going to be like a if I feel like, if I'm in the mood for it, because honestly this took me so much longer than expected because I was like, I can't skip a single page. I can't skip a line. There are moments where like I was reading, I'd go on my phone for like 2 seconds to reply, and then like I'd be confused where I started, then I had to like reread the entire page again because I'm like, the wording and the structure is so in-depth and so detailed that like if you miss a small thing, you'll miss so much. But I actually really enjoyed it, considering that like I don't normally read classics and like my go-to are just fantasy books all the time. I feel like it was like a nice change to like try something else. But yeah, The Pictures of Dorian Gray, honestly, it was a solid read. I feel like I gave this like a solid like 3.5. I don't know what it is, but I'm like, yeah, solid 3.5, honestly. Like, it was interesting. Some parts were just like, wow. Some parts had me shook. Some parts were just like, you know what I mean? So I felt like I felt all the emotions reading this, but this was a solid 3 stars for me. But yeah, overall, I feel like this little reading challenge was actually kind of nice because now I realize that I'm just a fantasy girl at heart. Honestly, I'm a fantasy girl through and through. I feel like trying to like broaden out my like reading into other things sometimes doesn't go to plan, but sometimes it does. Sometimes I'll read like a romance book, love it. Sometimes I'll read other books, hate it. So it just depends on the book, I think. So I think it depends on like the book, depends on my mood, depends on like what I'm interested in reading at that time. But yeah, I hope this video give you guys a little inspo into like broadening out what you normally read, trying something new. Even if you don't like it, at least you know you've tried, and maybe like that specific book or that specific genre isn't for you, and now you know. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment down below, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on so I'm notified every time I upload. I'll catch you in another one. Bye.